stand?
Hello, I'm Luna. And we're here at Westminster College with Dr. Thank you very much. Just following up on the lecture on meta-analysis and the diagnosis of gastric cancer. Okay.
So I'm Shraz Marker. I'm a NIHR Doctoral Research Fellow at Imperial College London.
Are there any other surgical solutions to esophageal gastric cancer?
So the surgery is evolving. So the operations that I presented to you today are primarily open operations, which are quite invasive. There are minimally invasive surgeries, including laparoscopic, thoracoscopic, and there are also surgeries whereby I showed you whereby we operated through the endoscope. That's also an operation as well that we can perform. But these operations are typically performed for cancer which is very early. It goes ahead with trying to diagnose the cancer earlier, and then we can use less invasive techniques to operate on the cancer.
What is your opinion on endoscopy surgery?
So I think endoscopic surgery for early stage cancer is very good. It's very good for the patients. It's very non-invasive. The patients do very, very well from it. If you look at essentially how many patients die from the procedure, in the setting of the resection in terms of the major surgery, it's around 3%, while from endoscopic surgery it's less than 1%, so it's very low. So for the patient it's a good thing.
Do you think that people who come with heartburn when they go to GP should be diagnosed for the endoscopic surgery just to reassure them that they don't have cancer?
For an endoscopy. So the problem is that if you send everyone with heartburn for an endoscopy, is that you have risks from the endoscopy. So you can cause a hole in the esophagus in around 1% of patients, which can have serious problems for the patient. Also, each endoscopy is quite expensive. So what we're really trying to do is we're trying to say that don't do an endoscopy, but what we're trying to say is why don't we use it in patients who really need it. So we're trying to provide a breath test which will then screen patients, and then those patients that really need it can have the endoscopy.
How would they improve the accuracy of figuring out specific types of cancer?
So in specific to esophageal, so there's two things. One is that I think we have to try to study other types of cancer to make sure that we can increase our specificity. The other things that we may do as the technology evolves is we may be able to improve the sensitivity of the instrument itself. As the instrument sensitivity improves, we'll maximize the differences between cancer and non-cancer. And that will hopefully improve the sensitivity of the test, definitely.
How did you become successful as a surgeon?
So in terms of being a successful surgeon or trying to be a successful surgeon, I think it's a work in progress. I think you have to, two things. One is that you have to always question everything around you. So the reason why I've done so much research is I've always questioned everything around me. I keep on asking. I was one of those kids who sat in the back of my dad's car, and always used to ask him why. That was me. So if you always ask why, then you'll always try to search out for the right answers, and you'll have a constantly inquisitive mind, and that's really what you should maintain, I think, for the rest of your career. The other thing is that you have to be driven, and you have to be highly motivated to do it. It's a difficult job, but it's extremely rewarding. I mean, how many jobs do you know whereby a patient comes to see you with a problem, you diagnose the problem, you treat the problem, you operate on the patient, and then you get them better and they go home. It's very, very rewarding.
What specifically inspired you to become a surgeon?
I think it was that, actually, to be honest. So both my parents are psychiatrists, and I really found the practical aspect of surgery very interesting. And I really, ultimately, as a surgeon, you either love being in theatre or you don't love it. If you love being in theatre, you want to be there, and then you know that's where you really want to be. And the other thing is that you really get to treat people, so I think it's great from that point of view.
What advice do you have for aspiring medical and science students? Or science students?
I think it's the one thing that I would definitely say is to stay focused, but also have fun. Like, I mean, it's something that people forget is that your job should be fun. Your university, your student life should be fun. At every stage of my career, I've had fun. I've never done a job I didn't like, fundamentally, ever, actually. And I think if you're enjoying your job, you're going to work hard at your job, and then you're going to get better at your job. And always know your limitations. So know where you stand and know what you can and can't do, and ask for help. Ask for help.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Hi, how was the lecture?
Really good. I really enjoyed it. I've also learned a lot.